click subscribe to Proper English Online for more real English conversations with native speakers every week. Like my lessons? Support me on Patreon. Patrons can download every worksheet for every lesson. Hi guys, this is Lee from Proper English Online, and this is the worksheet video for Pre-Intermediate Lesson 10, Problems at Work. So in this lesson, we're going to learn some past tenses for telling stories. Also, we're going to learn some weak sounds to use with these verb tenses, and also some various phrases we heard in the conversation. So before we get into that vocabulary, let's take a look on your worksheet. You'll see on the first 2 pages, we have this listening script with some missing words. I'd like you to listen to the conversation again, try to fill in those missing words, and when you're ready, we'll come back and look at the vocabulary in more detail. So let's listen a few times, as many times as you need, fill in those missing words, and when you're ready, we'll come back and look at this vocabulary. Okay, see you in a bit.
So things are good at work? Well, no, I shouldn't complain to you about this.
Don't be silly. What is it?
Oh, it's just, I don't know. I'm having some problems with my colleagues, that's all.
What kind of problems?
Well, I just don't get along with them very well. It's hard to talk to them sometimes, and it's just really, awkward.
Like what? What do you mean?
Well, for example, the other day I was sitting down at my desk and saw Rob. He does the same job as me. He's about my age, and I just said, "Hey Rob, how's it going?" And he just completely ignored me.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't pay any attention to me at all. I mean, he was probably busy with something, or I don't know, he was concentrating on his work, but I was a bit upset. It was a bit rude.
Yeah, it was rude. How can you just blank someone like that?
That's not all though. This woman Karen, who sits opposite me, she was really just weird too.
Why? What did she do?
Well, I made some cookies at home, and I thought I would bring them to work, to share with everyone.
Well, that's nice of you.
Well, yeah, but on the day I brought them in, Karen made a complaint to the office manager about me.
She what?
Yeah, she said it was unhygienic, like dirty, to bring in food from home. The manager told me not to bring any food in anymore. It was just so ridiculous.
Did you say anything to Karen about it?
Well, that's the thing. She never talks to me either. Just stares at her computer screen.
Weird people.
I know. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. I know they're not my friends, but I'm a sociable person, I like to have a chat with people and be friendly.
Well, obviously these people have no interest in being friendly. If I were you, I would just ignore them.
I suppose, but I'm there 8 hours a day. It's so uncomfortable and awkward,
Just get on with your work and don't take any notice of them.
Yeah, you're right.
And you can share your cookies with me anytime. I won't complain.
Okay everyone, hopefully now we've filled in those missing words, so let's take a look at some of the things we heard in the conversation. So we heard one of the speakers tell some stories about things that happened at work. The person said, "The other day I was sitting down at my desk and I just said, 'Hey Rob, how's it going?' And he just completely ignored me." Also, the person said, "He didn't pay any attention to me at all. He was probably busy with something, or he was concentrating on his work, but I was a bit upset. It was a bit rude." Okay, so in these examples, I've underlined the verbs and the verb tenses. I'd like you to look which verbs talk about completed actions, which verbs talk about continuous incomplete actions, and which ones talk about past states. So pause this video, look at these underlined verbs, which ones are completed actions, which ones are continuous incomplete actions, and which ones are past states. Pause this video and think. Okay, so the first one, I was sitting down. This is an incomplete continuous action, right? And then I just said, that's a completed action. He just completely ignored me. Another completed action. He didn't pay any attention, completed action. But this one though, he was probably busy. This is a past state. The next one, he was concentrating on his work, a continuous incomplete action. I was a bit upset. It's a past state again. And the last one, it was a bit rude, another past state. So when we're telling a story, we can use different tenses to give different information. Which tenses can we use to talk about background information? Well, we can use past continuous for ongoing actions, or we can use past simple to talk about states. So background information, less important information, giving some background, things that you need to know to understand the important information. Now, the important information, actions happening in order, we use past simple for past actions. So again, we use past continuous and past simple to talk about kind of unimportant background information. Things that's more context, something to help you understand the story. The actual events, the important things, we usually use past simple. Okay, so let's move on now to some practice now. Now, I'd like you to look at these prompts here, and I'd like you to add some grammar to them. So, add grammar to these prompts to tell a story, and you can use the word and when to link the two events. So let's look at an example here. I walk down the street, bump into my old friend. Now firstly, what do you think is the background information and what is the important information? Another one too. I ride my bike, slip on ice, fall off, hurt my knee. What is the background information and which things do you think are the important actions, the interesting information? One more too. I be at the bank, be waiting for the ATM machine. A man with a gun, was it come, ask for all the money. So here, what's the important information and what's just the background information? So let's add some tenses, some grammar, some past simple or past continuous to make some stories from these prompts. And remember, we're going to use past simple or past continuous for the background information, and we're going to use past simple for the important actions. So pause this video and make some sentences. Okay guys, so let's look together at the first one. So this one here, I walk down the street, bump into my old friend. I think the interesting information here is bump into my old friend. Walk down the street is the background information. Now, walk down the street, probably continuous action. So I would say, I was walking down the street when, and I bumped into my old friend. Okay, so background information, I was walking. Important, interesting information, I bumped into my old friend. Now, a little bit of pronunciation here. Listen to how I say, I was walking. How I say it more quickly, I was walking, I was walking. For this one, I say it more like I was or ours. It's not I was, it's more ours, ours. Okay, how about the next one? The next one was, I ride my bike, slip on ice, fall off, hurt my knee. Now, background information, I think I ride my bike. Not so interesting, right? Slip on ice, interesting. Fall off, interesting. Hurt my knee, important, right? So for this one, I think it's I was riding my bike when and I slipped on some ice, fell off and hurt my knee. Okay, so notice fell off, slipped on ice, hurt my knee. Those are the important actions. 1, 2, 3. First I slipped on the ice, then I fell off, then I hurt my knee. What was happening before? Well, I was riding my bike. So again, pronunciation, I was riding, I was riding. Again, I was riding. That quicker I was becomes ours, ours. Now the next one, this was I be at the bank, be waiting for the ATM machine, a man with a gun, come, ask for all the money. What's the important information here? I think the man with the gun, right? That's interesting, isn't it? Ask for all the money, also pretty important. Background information, I be at the bank. Past state, maybe. I be waiting for the ATM machine. Past ongoing action. So for this one, I was at the bank and I was waiting for the ATM machine when a man with a gun came and asked for the money. Okay, so once again, I was at the bank. I was, again, it's I was at the bank. And I was waiting. I was waiting. I was waiting. Not I was, but I was. Okay, so now guys, let's see if you can practice with a story of your own. So let's think of something interesting or special or just anything at all that happened to you or someone you know. Surprising story, scary story, interesting story, anything you like. And I'd like you to use those past tenses, past simple, past continuous, to tell the story, to give the background information with past simple and past continuous, and to give the important information with past simple. So let's try and tell a story, and remember, I was should be I was. Okay, so pause this video, think of a story, and tell it. Okay guys, now hopefully you've told a story using those past tenses and used that pronunciation, I was, right? But now, let's take a look at some vocabulary. So, in the conversation, we heard these 10 phrases, lots of phrases. And as you can see on your worksheet, we've got some missing words. I'd like you to fill in the missing words you can see for these 10 expressions we heard in the conversation. And then also, I'd like you to match them with these hints we have here. So, we're going to fill in the missing words on this part, and we're going to match them with the hints here. Also, when you're doing that, let's think about the pronunciation in the phrases. Which word do we stress? So we've got 10 expressions, fill in the missing words, match them with the hints, and then, if you can, try and mark what word do we stress when we say these phrases. So pause this video and think. Okay guys, let's do the first one together. The first one was, don't get along with them. I don't get along with them. And this means to not have a good relationship with someone. So I don't get along with them. I don't really like them. We have a bad relationship. So for this one, our pronunciation, I don't get along with them. I don't get along with them. We stress along. Now the next one was, he's something my age. This one, he's about my age. He's about my age. And this means to be roughly the same age. He's about my age. I'm not sure. Maybe he's same age as me. He's around my age. Now again, for this one, pronunciation, he's about my age. He's about my age. We stress about. Okay, the next one was, how can you just something someone? This missing word was to blank someone. Interesting phrase here. How can you just blank someone? So to blank someone means to pretend to not hear or see someone. So let's imagine you're walking down the street and you see your old friend or maybe old girlfriend or boyfriend and you say, oh, hi. And they just keep walking. They pretend they didn't see you. They did see you. You saw that they saw you. You know they heard you, they saw you, but they pretend like, oh, I didn't see you. Yeah, so that is to blank someone, okay? And our pronunciation here, how can you just blank someone like that? How can you just blank someone? Okay, now another phrase we had here was this one, to a complaint. Now the verb we use with complaint is make. So in the conversation we heard made a complaint. I made a complaint, past tense, right? So make a complaint, will make a complaint. Now this one means to just complain about something, right? Especially formally. If you make a complaint, you probably talk to a manager, you talk to some official person to complain about something. And again, for this one, our pronunciation, you make a complaint. So small stress on made, big stress on complaint. Made a complaint. Made a complaint. Okay, our next one we had was this one, stares her computer. You stare at something. Stare at something. To stare at means to continuously look at something. Kind of like this, like without moving your face, just stare at. Sometimes it can have a bad sound to stare at something. Stare at somebody, it's really not nice to stare at somebody. For example, you see a famous person on the street. You shouldn't stare at them, right? It's not nice, it's quite rude. So pronunciation here, stare at her computer. Stares at her computer, we stress stare. Okay, the next one we had was this one here. It's something, a chat, it's have a chat. We have a chat, and it just means to talk casually. Have a chat. Our pronunciation here, have a chat, we stress chat. talk casually. Have a chat with someone, have a chat with your friends. Now, the next one we had was this one, have no interest in being friendly. And it was interest in being friendly. Have no interest in being. Have no interest in doing something. And this means to not be interested in doing something. Now notice we use a verb ing. Have no interest in being. Have no interest in going. No interest in doing. Okay? So, I have no interest in being friendly. So our pronunciation, it was have no interest. Have no interest in being friendly. We stress the word no. Have no interest in being. Okay guys, our next one was to get something with your work. Get on with your work. Get on with your work. Now this expression means to continue working, to keep going. So for example, let's say I'm talking to my colleague in the office and talking about some, casual thing, but I'm working, but I pause, I stop, talk to my colleague. I might say, oh, sorry, I need to get on with my work. I need to get on with my work. I can't take a break. I need to continue. Okay, so get on with your work. Our pronunciation, get on with your work. We stress on. Get on with your work. Okay, our next one was this one here. Don't any notice of them. Don't take any notice of them. Don't take any notice of them. And this means to ignore or be unconcerned with someone. Don't worry about it. Take no notice. Don't pay attention. Take no notice. Don't take any notice. Okay, so this one here, don't take any notice. We stress take and then bigger stress on notice. Don't take any notice. Don't take any notice of them. Or it could be, don't take any notice of him. Don't take any notice of her. Okay, and our next phrase we had was this one. If I you, I would just, and this is if I were you, I would just, and this is a phrase just to give advice. If I were you, I would just, telling someone what to do in this situation. If I were you, I would just, go and talk to your manager. I would maybe go to the doctor or something like that if it's a health problem. So our pronunciation here, we say, if I were you, if I were you. So big stress on I, smaller stress on you. If I were you, if I were you. Okay guys, so well done. So thank you for joining me today in this lesson. We learned some different past tenses to tell stories and to use past continuous and past simple to give background information. Also some weak sound pronunciation with that tense. Also, we learned some various phrases you can use to talk about all kinds of situations. So thanks for joining me today, guys. I've been Lee from Proper English Online, and see you guys next time.